So here I'm going to show you how to create a novelty frame that can be exported to the laser cutter for cutting on here. So I want grid to be to 5mm, double click on the line tool, put that to 160, click OK, and draw my line on there. Make sure it aligns with the grid. Then the second one I'm going to put 110. It's slightly bigger than my final dimensions, but I want my design to fit into that. I just want to use the rectangle as a guide to make sure I've got the design in the right shape and proportions on here. Closing the rectangle. So here I'm going to get a picture. You can either get a picture to trace, or here I'm going to get a picture where I can create a vector graphic from. Getting that picture smaller to the right size so it fits into my grid design. So here I'm zooming out, it's very big, so I can reduce that. So you kind of click and click again to reduce, and then drag it in the right place on there. I'm trying to keep it in proportions, and I kind of make it fit in there, so a little bit smaller. And I'm bearing in mind I've got a 5mm margin all the way around, so it is in the right dimensions on here. So here I've got that right on there. So now I'm going to select my image. Okay, zoom in so I can see what I'm doing a little bit more, and go into bitmaps. And black and white silhouette settings, set the background to transparent, and push the slider until you can see the silhouette clearly. Here, because it's orange, it takes a little bit more pushing. Okay, then you're going to select that. You can see the background's transparent again, bitmap, and then contour bitmap on here. Here you want to set the contour spacing to 0 and click OK. Okay, then with the select tool, going to move your kind of picture to the side, and you can see the line it's created on here. So here you can now delete the picture you've got on there. And I want to get the line tool to get the legs a little bit shorter on here. So I'm going to draw a line here between the legs, so the legs are really short, and the picture may be a little bit more naive than it is at the moment. Then I'm just getting the gap delete tool and deleting the extra lines I've got here. So just click on all the extra lines until they're all deleted on there. So now I've got my image ready to go on here. So here I'm going to select circle tool, a radius of 3. I just want a small circle for the eye on here to be cut out on there. So I've got a small circle for the eye. I've positioned that on there. Then I'm going to go and select the curve tool. I want some sort of an outer frame on this one. That's built on the top rather than a frame behind. So that's the design I've decided on there. So I'm going to get the curve tool. Make sure grid lock is off, and create kind of a splash type design on there. And where it joins in, delete on here, and then I can put my select tool to arrange the size on there. And then I'm going to put like a little window for the frame on here, a little circle on here. I want my picture for this one to be quite small, maybe like a little portrait photo or something like that. And I'm making sure the splat is kind of filling the elephant. And I want the circle not to be too close to the edge, so my frame is still kind of strong on here. So I could put now splat and paint that a different color from the background. So here I'm going to start making the back pieces. So I'm moving this file to the side, and I'm just going to copy the frame part and paste it. And twice. So I'm going to have it first engraved on the elephant, so I know where to position it. Then I'm going to have my cutout pieces, and I'm going to have a piece between the cutout piece and the elephant, just to leave a little bit of a gap where I can put a picture on here. So here I'm drawing a rectangle to create the slot for the picture on here, making sure my rectangle slightly overlaps on here, making it a tiny little bit bigger, and I'm going to put that about halfway through. Okay, so I've got a gap here to put a picture on. So I'm selecting, deleting all the spare lines, and now I need to delete that. back to delete, and I've got this little bits on here that are not going to be needed to create that back piece. Okay, so this is going to be my back piece, front piece, and the elephant on there, and the piece in the middle. Now I've got all my files ready. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I just want to select some of the lines to change the colors. So the red line I can set to cut, then it goes on the laser cutter, and the black lines will set to engrave on there. So here we want to cut all the lines to get the splat type frame on here, and that's going to go in the background, so that needs to be all cut as well. And we've got that little eye that needs to be cut out as well, so all that in red on here. So now my files are ready to send to the laser cutter. File, export file, go and put in the right file on your system. Then you want to save it as DXF file. So here, frame elephant, and save. And your file is ready now to send to the laser cutter to be cut and then assembled on there. You can also save it as a 2D design file. So I'm going to go in the same folder and save it in here. So frame elephant, and it's a DTD file. So if you want to edit it further, you can open it back in there. Okay, so here I want to show you a new method, file new. So same, set your grid spaces to 5. Click OK. Go to your rectangle, 160. Put the grid lock on. And 110. And close the rectangle on here. Here I'm going to choose a different picture. I made a house type pattern on here. Let's try this one. So you need the white background and the black. Paste, and here I'm going to put my picture in there. So here I need to stretch the picture slightly to make it fit my size. You need to choose a picture that's still going to look okay, stretch. I think that's reasonable. So black and white silhouette settings, transparent background, click OK. Then the bitmap contour. And there, now you've got your outline on there. So same principle as before on here. So here in this one, I'm going to draw a rectangle for my picture frame. So just drawing that by hand and snapping it to grid. Then I'm going to move it on here, remove the grid lock so I can move it where I want to. And then copy and paste. And I'm going to put it slightly larger on here to kind of engrave a little border on there. So I'm adding a little bit more detail on this one and showing you how to add engraved details on this one. So here it's a little bit big, so I'm making that a little bit smaller. So my wood in the background stays strong and neat on here. And if you had time and if you wanted, you can also add a graphic on there to be engraved. So here I fancy some sort of a heart on there engraved, so I'm putting heart silhouette. So they become with black background. Maybe this one, or that fancy one with wing, I quite like that. And paste here, making that nice and small so it fits on that top bit on the roof. And same principle as before. So the background needs to be transparent and the image black. And then bitmap contour settings. And you can delete the background. So here I want to just close, add a little bit of a line to close the heart on here. So I'm going to get my curve tool. And close the heart. And just really quickly delete any kind of spare little lines to kind of neaten the design. Oh, if you keep deleting something that shouldn't be there, you need to go back on there and zooming in to get a little bit more accurate on there. And that's, I'm reasonably happy with that, nice and tidy on here. So here I've got my design for the front frame on here. So here everything's going to happen on the back. So I'm going to copy and paste. You can see I've deleted the frame and paste again. So I've got kind of 3 versions on here. So the first one going to be at the front with a little bits engraved on there. So that one is just the back piece. So that's just plain, and I'm going to select that to cut. This one, I want to cut the outline and the outline of the frame, so that's going to be my front piece. And this one's going to be the middle piece, so I can delete the heart on there. And I'm just going to select the area to cut, and that's going to be the space to insert my photo. So we're going to have back piece, middle piece, and top piece on there with the decoration. So I'm going to set that to red as well. So this file is now ready for the laser cutter. Export as DFX. Okay, and file save as 2D design file as well. So I've got that saved twice on here, and it's ready to send to the laser cutter.